Okay, SALT course ringineb nyamagat. Limam the SALT course ruyukum indormam.
First of all, when we had the SALT course and did it here, one thing I noticed was that the people were really glad to have this kind of teaching come.
Barkapam nge dukebriakramam SALT course o ringinebugat.
At first, they didn't really understand exactly what the SALT course was going to be about.
Ketarukan rapayakar ko si kabini mo mem na katiduka mo mem o katiduka tunguna kata broin ko repak mom.
Then after started getting into the course and then hearing what kind of things were in it, then they were really excited about what they were going to be learning and understanding in God's Word.
Bakimam metindarim the course romam. Bak duka tungure vakmam.
Lots of men and women who are in the course
understanding.
Yeah, got a lot more in-depth understanding into God's Word.
Nandra moin magandam rokep duka vakmam na tundam rokvat.
When they started hearing the teaching, they began to understand a lot of things. A lot of things started going on in their minds, and the teachings began to really guide their lives or guide their understanding, give them good direction.
Nanda barkava weaker romam na biain how to chimam na patramam mrakwem barkava igar outreach ringna magat bok metindarem Christian metindarem ro wanya kitamam rom patramagat bro in gore pak motem mom metindarem.
And they also saw that after the first week, when that first weekend came and they went on their outreach, they saw that they got a real big response from the men and women that who were sitting down and listening to them. The men and women who heard them also were really glad to hear this kind of teaching coming and took place.
Bok metindarim na tundi mam patayukom memam o art nevri yogotogat don kibra mrakoto patayuk yuk yogat nat nevri yogotogat nam nevri mrakot kanjan jaktitonam.
Both those who were in the course and also those who were hearing it during the outreach time, all of them thought that the things that they were learning here, it was like it was something brand new to them, and it was a new way that they were hearing it.
Ura weaker, ura kusyuk weaker umam na bok indore pakmam na bok duke pakmam na duka memam tweet omira tweet nakurak nam andi mamnia umpam kwa nuasik bagi krak nam the posta kwat komrafem.
Okay, and then in the second week, they found that they were learning much more, and were getting more and more understanding, having more and more thoughts about what they were hearing, and they also felt like this is good, but we would like to have even more in depth later on and begin to understand more of what's being taught to us, so that we can then take it and be able to explain it better to those when we do our outreaches later on.
Na nemo siyoso brota kimam pastor tu ptamemoro no mindorwonam na SALT course to ringinebt the borioret na mindorwonam na wemega nakurag namam anjikomam.
And especially the upper leaders, the main leaders in our church, when they began to see what things that were being taught in the SALT course, felt like they would like to go even further and learn even more about these things, so that it could be used to strengthen the congregation.
Na broduket the mroko watena katone kimam barkapam nge kumro mrokot ta manyar muamat.
Most of the leaders who came to the church up to that time really had not stood up and taught their congregations using their own language very much.
The time the koskot niamam and the koskoten Ose mimay kum kasna motem kumromro koto pataganepta iro kausrotut.
But once they started getting into the course, then they felt like they were really inspired to want to try to use Tokplace all that they could whenever they stood up in front of the congregation.
Na uroga sandegar and uroga kosyuk wikro urog sandega bok met tindarim romam na wanmam na memam arigat negativita dorim rokot wanirgat na marigativit kumroko mibrapat waptaka kutokam iroka bron kibrar gormont.
And then on the last Sunday, when the church leaders were using some of the lessons that they'd learned in the previous 2 weeks, the men and women in the congregation, when it was all over, said, we don't want to hear any more Tok Pidgin, any more Melanesian Pidgin. We just want to hear Tokplace now when you preach to us.
Na time nanjuan me na indokor me na patitan to sem bon kiblar mrakwet arigat ka ingin na imam mrakotok patanep kumrokpat patakakuram nandit na indokorwa.
And so now that I see that after translating the word, the people are really wanting to take it and to use it and to speak it and to preach it and to listen to God's word in their own language, they really want this. This really gives me great joy.
Benjirpa.
Thank you.